They are that dumb. People just need something to believe in. The side of that,
What's wrong with
wants to be the chosen one.
What's wrong with reality? Why not believe in reality? Say it, you broke up.
I said people are too lazy to do the research on actual reality. And so for them, they're going to invent the shit. You know what I mean? And then claim to be the originator and the anomaly responsible for inventing this alternate reality.
I mean, we got alternate realities now. And
yeah, so there's a lot of useless people now.
Yeah, let's swing to that real quick. I didn't realize that the metaverse has been since we was kids. I think I made my first Madden player like Madden 95, when you create your little player and write your name on this jersey and build his attributes. That's the same shit as the metaverse, right?
I don't know, bro. I'm trying to dig deeper into it. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. I know that there's a lot of actual companies that are buying into it so that they kind of can position themselves in this alternate reality so that people can patronize their business.
Because my son is on Fortnite. Like Cairo, he was 6, he just turned 7. Mm-hmm. He literally, his minimum is like $30 a month in Fortnite, bro. And he hitting like, he'll call my mom, she gonna send him 20. He gonna call his other grandma, she gonna send him 20. He gonna come, hey, I need to work. Can I take out the trash or something? All right, that's 5. Hey, can I massage your back? That's 10. And he's negotiating. Like, hey, if I do an hour, I need $15. Like, and then tomorrow it might be like an hour, I can do it for 20. You see what I'm saying? But he need this money to get Fortnite bucks. So
that's wild.
Of course, I can see Zuckerberg saying, let's create that place where we can get you to not only stay on Facebook, but pay money. And Twitch does something like that, where you can buy like little tokens or something to send to the creator of the content. It's weird, but DJ
I think Facebook had they kind of figured that shit out early on with Farmville,
Sims.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically in the social media world. I mean, Sims, yeah, sure, but Farmville, people were really paying that to spruce up their farms and get more tools. And I've never played it, but people were investing into it, and that was a really big source of Facebook's revenue for a long time.
Oh, Farmville was specific to Facebook?
Yes.
Because you could build apps on a backside.
Yep. So I think once they saw how lucrative that was, they were like, damn, how do we do this shit? But for everybody.
And it leaves you on a platform, so now you can get advertising dollars. Because they can say we got, 1 million eyes for 2 hours. So if you put your 2-minute video in there.
Yeah, and now, and since they're on Instagram now, it's like, well, shit, it can be a cross-promotional thing, and Instagram is where people are. Do you guys see there being another social media platform that can outdo IG?
Me personally, no. And I'm going to say that because even though they still say that the demographics is younger, which is...
Oh, TikTok?
TikTok is I think quick, but I think IG has that the certification that you need to be legit. Like it's really a portfolio.
Yeah.
And because I think we were discussing that in the topics in one of them apps. Should you trend, or how do y'all feel about Instagram or Facebook adding in every other competitor's ideas? And because they making a TikTok with the reels, they make the Snapchat stories. Mm-hmm. They added the close friends that are removed, that you don't have to show everybody and different stuff like that. Like, I think that I don't think you can beat them. I think Instagram is simple, and yet you can get everything you need at one point.
Yeah, as long as they keep buying out the patents that their competitors are trying to, bring into the social media sphere, yeah, it's a wrap. And even then, once their competitors bring it in, that's only one piece to the puzzle. IG has they kind of compiled the whole system. You know what I mean? From all of your favorite apps, and unless there's an app that can license all of these features from Zuck and Facebook or whatever, I don't see us going anywhere else.
I remember when they had just launched Instagram TV, and I can remember somebody telling you that what their like an ultimate goal is to pretty much give everybody their own TV channel. And when I say that, meaning you could structure it in a way that you literally have a channel that you would see on Spectrum or whatnot, or Direct TV, where you can use your reels or the stories as commercials. You use your IGTV for actual show, I don't know what we call it, programming. You use your post as like a screenshot, like a promo to the content, and then you use all of those interchangeably so that you can you actually create your channel. Because I guess the whole focus is for us, if you're going to use these social media platforms, is to keep people on your channel, or at least checking in on your channel. Because once you get the million eyes or whatnot, now you got a market that you can sell to, right?
What's the topic for today so we can tie in all this conversation?
This one is up in the air. Figure out what y'all want to talk about. Hold up 1 second. I got one that you wrote, what you sent me, joining Facebook groups and the benefits of connecting on social media with other entrepreneurs.
I mean, shit, we're already here. We might as well talk about it.
There you go. And then the other one, which we could, if we got the timing right, was what kind of problems are you facing in your business, and just kind of figuring out some solutions as a group.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that first, because the social media shit is more, it's an easier convo. Yeah.
So if I go first, my issues in business are, as of right now, as it stands, is I can't increase. There's no increase because I can't. I say I can't. I don't have adequate help right now. Hiring is very, very difficult. So if I can't hire, because my job is so physical, I can't expand my business, and it's a shitload of money out, and it's like it's so fucking frustrating not to be able to get to it because I don't have the manpower. That's nuts.
What's the what's the simplest attribute that you can designate to not being able to hire the appropriate help?
Money, wages.
Okay.
I would have to. So when you creating the profit margin per se, for me to increase the wage right now, just to be competitive, I'm at 17. But if I went up to 20, like my profit margin at that point is gone. So I'm gonna have to really be like a backbreaker. Like, if we don't get this car out in 30 minutes, like nobody gets paid. Like, you kind of see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that has been difficult to do because most people don't take that kind of direction well. You gotta get it done by this time. And I get a lot of people that apply, not as much as I used to, but they don't even show up to the assessment. Like, they'll be like, I'm coming. I send you an email, like a reminder. It's today, 4:30. All right, I'm gonna be there. And then like somewhere between 4:30 and 5, they're like, oh, I couldn't make it. I had a family emergency. It's, that's bullshit, but they won't even show up to try out or to be assessed. They just want the job, I guess.
Have you explored, I'm sure you have, applying for grants specifically for
so what I recently just did, you said grants for money, right?
Yeah, but to be used or granted specifically for payroll purposes to sustain you and
That is exactly. Hold on, let me make sure. That's exactly what I took the grant for. So when you ask me about it, I need a grant. It's specifically for wages. I have a low overhead business, so and we don't store much supply, so I'm solid on that. Like most of it's gonna be in wages. I signed up with the county of LA. They have programs for recidivism, so putting felons back to work, disabled people, youth, like high school to like 20 something, and veterans. I'm supposedly on this list. I spoke with the lady, had a Zoom meeting with her, but nothing's come through that channel yet.
And nobody want to work. Everybody want to be an entrepreneur nowadays, bro. So that's the hardest thing within hiring. Whether if you're hiring in a young demographic, shit, half the young black dudes, he want to be a rapper. So he taking the pay that you giving him to go to the studio. So you might as well just give him free. You might as well just give him free studio time and he'll work for you for free. But it's everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and you can't knock them for having that drive of not wanting to work for somebody, because that's the decision that we all made ourselves. I think at home, everybody got paid over the last year and a half not to work. And I don't think that the hunger of like, okay, they really about to put me out my apartment, my kids really can't eat. People haven't really faced that yet. And as that starts to hit more households, phones start ringing a little bit more. People start showing up for them interviews. It's like a weird little time that we in. Because even for myself, I can put fillers out trying to hire people, stuff like that, and no one's responded. No one's responded. I put an ad out the other day to hire a nanny, and you get a hit here and there, a hit here and there, and then like the people who do respond, they want $25 an hour. So essentially, they might as well go to the daycare license and have their own daycare business. And it's like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. So it's what we're up against right now. When everything first started happening, they started calling this the Great Reset, right? And what is it? Own nothing and enjoy it, right? Nobody's going to own anything over the next few years. And I can see where people are kind of happy with that universal income, things like that. I can see where it can start turning into a critical thing where it's going to start shutting businesses down, bro. Infrastructures will not be able to be the same. For me, shit, the hard part for me, go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead,
Let me slide right in here real quick. You said you don't knock them for making that decision that we all made to be entrepreneurs, but we all make that decision after working for people and doing a damn good job at it. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people they just jumping off the porch like, yo, I'm about to own my own business and do this. Like, yo, like where's the structure?
Because they look at what we did as simple. Like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. Bro, every idea that me, you, or any of us have come up with in any kind of form of business, there's somebody next to us working for us who tries to take the same idea and go do the same things. So it's like a copycat effect. Everybody thinks that is easy. Like, oh, I can do it. Oh, he's doing it, I can do it. People don't see that you've been working since you've been 15 years old. People don't see that. It's just simple. Oh, he young, he black, he doing it, I can do it. You know what I mean? That's how everybody feels.
Who will the business owner serve if there is no proletariat?
Hey, I've been asking myself this question, I'm waiting for an answer. Everybody on it. What are we doing?
There has to be a proletariat, but the issue is that I think that being part of the proletariat is associated with classism, right? So now, if you see an honest working man, it's like, oh, he's almost classed, like, oh, he didn't have the means or the creativity or the drive to become an entrepreneur or an owner, or he didn't have generational wealth set in place for him. Where there's nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying, with earning an honest living, because how else will you learn to control a business, or how else will you learn the ins and outs of a business? How else can you understand and become a expert at something if you don't go through the process? And oftentimes the process, like you said, is actually working the business.
I mean, if I don't want to get too deep, but that's definitely what the degrees is about. You see what I'm saying? Or your apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Like, you can't just, I mean, you can, and it's happened, but it's not the safest or the easiest route. But I think it's killing business. And what you said, Brandon, which is legit, because I heard it last night when I was watching the fight, was, bro, I just got EDD, I just got PPP, like, I ain't working. Like, why would I come to work? I'm thinking, like, that's just over. Like, it ain't enough of that. Like, so what? So now what? But which means that UBI is going to happen. It has to happen now, because you don't have the there, like you're saying, this ain't nobody to sell to.
Yeah.
You on mute, Brandon.
So I start this new project tomorrow, the 160 townhomes, right? And it's crazy because they're paying us to do construction management. I don't have a degree for construction management at all. I got the tenure of being in business for 30 years in a field that kind of aligns with what they have going on. The problem is, same thing out here, people have like walked away from the jobs. You got people who don't want to deal with the supply chain issues. So because of this, these are the times like people really get rich, bro. These are the times where you can pivot and find the right thing and really blow up. They're giving me $90,000 a year they give me $90,000 over the next 10 months to manage this to just manage the job site. Bro, it's unlimited opportunity. So it's selfish to say this, but sometimes you like let them stay blind. Let the masses do what they doing, because I gotta eat. So it's sad to say it that way, but don't for an entrepreneur or someone like me, I can't allow it to, I can't allow it to slow me down on my own personal level.
So let me interject here, just two seconds, Kevin. I just want to put this out there, just so we're all on the same page. There's the proletariat and there's the bourgeoisie, right? And I may be saying that wrong.
The bourgeoisie.
That's it there. And so the bourgeoisie are the people who control the means of production in a capitalist society, and the proletariat are the members of the working class. I just wanted to put those definitions out so we all know, what we're talking about.
That's what you call when you say the bourgeoisie. That's what they talk about.
Yes. So if everybody's part of the bourgeoisie, as you call it, I mean, bro, it can't happen. It just can't happen. Everybody's not cut from that cloth.
No, but what we will see is a fall of this. I mean, I think it's falling already, but that's me personally, my personal opinion.
Also, look at our age demographic. We now fall in a different demographic. We're in that 35 to 55 demographic. And the people that we're really looking at to pull us out of this is the demographic that's younger than us. We're looking for the 18 to 25 to 18. We're looking at 18 to 30 to pull us out of this. It's not going to happen. They don't want to work. They have a level of entitlement that's through the roof. And it's been this way for years. So they not gonna go, bro. They don't want to go to work. The ones who do, I applaud them, but for most of them, they don't want to work.
And so here's why this is important. It's important for us to teach other people how to actually become entrepreneurs, how to do this shit right. Because you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a working entrepreneur, right? If you set it up right, you can go into another company and say, hey, don't W-2 me. I have my LLC. 1099 me.
That's exactly how they taking care of us on this job site, bro. We came at this job site as entrepreneurs. They're not giving us a W-2. We're not their employees. We were able to come into the game as our own bosses. The check get cut to my business. So it's a fucking beautiful thing, but it was set up like that. Most of these youngsters, they don't want to take a W-2. Like they everybody wants money, but nobody want to work for it, bro. And they feel working for somebody is beneath them, which you know, we preach entrepreneurship, bro. We preach it. So it's hard when we.
Yeah, I wasn't taught like that though. You see what I'm saying? I read a book called You Inc. I don't know if y'all read that.
Put it up in the chat. We need it.
Yeah, You Incorporated. And what it was saying was everybody is their own boss, regardless if you're an employee or 1099, etc. And
Precisely.
And everything you do, which is, you know, this is what we normally talk about. The way you do one thing is the way you do all things. They like, you handle your business, you take care of your thing the way that you would as if you owned the company. And as an employee, and I mean, that's the way I came up. Like, I literally quit Department of Homeland Security, bro, to start my business. I asked them before I quit, I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a business. I've been doing it now for a year and a half on the side. Can I get a leave of absence to set it up? And then I'll come back. They was like, no. And I say, you can't give me a leave of absence 6 months? They said no. I said, okay, cool. This is my last day. Went out, shook everybody's hand, but I didn't, this is government, so the paperwork wasn't right. So they was literally for 2 years sending me, certified signed manila folders like, yo, you got to come in now and get your exit interview. If you don't, we gonna kick you off payroll. And I'm like, cool, just kick me off. And I would get these like every 3 months. They wouldn't fire me. So I call them, I say, yo, what's going on? They say, we really want you to come back. Like, you was one of like the top guys. So in that company, I knew how to do it. This is at the airport. I was a first class in as TSA. So I know how to work every aspect of the job from the CTXs, which is the big screen, the big machines that screen the bags, to people, to the gates, to even being on special bond tasks. Even I was selling fucking charities. Like I did everything. So they was like, yo, we don't want you to quit. We want you to come back. But because I handled the business, I did the overtime when they asked. Like, you know, I'm invaluable to this thing. I don't know nothing about just feeling like underneath nobody for working for them.
If you think about it, branding is probably the most important part for a business, because everybody takes pride in ownership. And the same reason why you go to a Laker game with a Laker jersey on is the same reason people, you know, go and work for, you know, a TSA, a Coke, a yada, yada, yada. It's because, you know, you have pride when you say, yo, what do you do? Oh, I work for TSA. You know what I mean? I work for Target. And it's like, yeah, all right. I know them. You know what I mean? And that same pride and ownership is what people aren't getting being employees of just, you know, mom and pop such and such, you know, in Compton. And I feel like if we personally, this is, you know, the views expressed here are only the views of Mike McCain. Personally, I feel like we should move away from the W-2 model. And I feel like every business should hire on a 1099, every single business, because that will get family. Well, it'll be beneficial to the business for sure, but it'll give families pride and ownership. It'll allow them to learn business structure. It'll create legacies, right? And so at this point, go ahead, Kev.
Let's explore that. Because I'm recently hiring W-2. So, you know, our Wipe model, the app was based on 1099 contractors. And then I was fake hiring people for the majority of my years in my business until recently. You lose so much control that's necessary for the business when you go to the 1099 model. So how do you offset that?
Right, the same way McDonald's offsets it with their franchisees. You know, the franchisees have to follow a strict contract, a strict bylaw, a strict you can and can't do this. These are the covenants, conditions, and restrictions for being an actual franchisee of our brand. If not, we'll kick you off, and you know you won't be associated with us anymore. And corporate will then take over your branch.
I'm trying to put that all together because I know there's a certain amount of Black McDonald's franchisees that's suing McDonald's as we speak because McDonald's have underplayed their businesses. So I'm trying to put it all together on how they all reach out.
The downside in California, you can't even 1099 unless a person is business or they have to carry their own insurance now. Yeah. So
I was gonna get to that point too.
Yes, that's and it depends on what state you're working out of. Every place something's gonna change. California, when they came down with that law, kind of messed the game up.
Yes, AB 5. AB 5 is the bill that they passed.
I think, but one of the big reasons for that happening in California was for the illegals. Like you got illegal contractors and guys working, making more money than corporations out there doing side work kind of thing. So that's why I think it was really created in California, bro.
But let me jump in here. So my industry, car wash industry, they also use this. It's a lot of stringent laws on book for car washes because they were using illegals and only giving them tips. So they really kind of X'd out the independent contractor model for car washes because they were, I guess, being abused per se. So I'm trying to figure if I if I 1099 somebody, but I need a job done at 7:30 at this location, they don't have to accept that. So I'm losing the control that damages my brand at this point because if you have to filter the money through me, right? So let's say you're getting this is a great point though, because I have a lot of people that work like they own businesses that apply or they work for Washos. I don't know if y'all seen that Wash OS, which is another company that acts like an appointment setter. So they fill the calls for car washings and they try to dispatch a unit out to the people. They never really work well because they don't have that control. So when you're working for me, if I'm going to pay you $20 off a $35 job or 30, whatever, but you can go get 50, you push my job to the back. And so now I don't work for you no more, but I'm getting 50 over here and you see what I'm saying? So my business is going to suffer. So how do we offset that?
I personally don't think, I mean, granted,
I think you got to start, bro, with putting people like you got to your hiring pool that you're hiring in, and this is back to the age demographic thing. A younger person will respect you by putting them in the entrepreneur position. Somebody who's 35 years old, they're not gonna respect it, bro. So it's bringing somebody into some. hold on one second. It's something new. So you're bringing somebody into something like a new way of thinking, a new way of doing business. It's going to have to happen with the young people. It's not going to happen with somebody in 25 and up. It's not going to happen. So like those models and stuff like that that we want to use is going to have to happen with the youngsters. Our sons will be the people who will benefit from this way of business.
Hey, also, too.
Go ahead,
Mike. Kevin.
No, it's good. I'm off topic. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that this is where teaching integrity comes into play. You know what I mean? The like Brandon was saying with the younger cats, they're more malleable. So you can teach them business ethics and integrity and etiquette and all that shit. The older generation of the proletariat is they're looking at next 15, 20 years, how can I mooch off of this social security that I'm entitled to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm definitely, so my model ideal is in and out, right? Definitely a younger base, a higher pay rate, but they got employees. They not making those cats 1099. I guess that's what you're saying, Brandon, is the difference where them having the name In and Out changes from Shine. Like those people want to work for In and Out versus working for Shine as a wage employee. Is that what you're saying? Because I don't think In and Out could be successful if their employees were 1099 contractors and they did not have to adhere to a schedule. And in California, in order to be a 1099 contractor, you also must do that same business outside of working for just me. So you have to have other clients that's doing the same thing. There's two tests. There's the AB5 test, and then there's another test. I forget the name, but this is how they are going to determine if you should have been paying wages. Versus
so the other test is whether or not the employee performs normal business, like normal work in that same position. I went through this shit in the last company I was with. There was a 1099 lady who was there doing specific work, and she was so concerned because she knew that she was an actual employee, but she was being paid as a 1099 worker. Right. And the reason she was concerned was because she had, if that company were to ever get audited and they see that she was being paid consistently for the same job, for the same hours, for the same everything, then one, the company was going to get fined, and two, she could have possibly gotten fined too because she knew better based on the Senate bill that was passed.
And she's gonna be on hook for it. So this is what I ran into with the independent contractors, the fake hiring that I was doing. And I got 1099s on the people, but they should have been employees. And the reason why was because when it came down to taxes, they didn't pay their own tax. They was expecting me to withhold it. So now they're going, well, didn't you pay the tax? Like, no, I actually carried the tax on my own thing until I 1099 you and get you off my books. Now you on the hook for paying your own tax. So that was shocking for the young person. And then two, when it was time for them to get things like an apartment or a car, they're going, well, where's my paycheck stub? Yeah. I'm going, yo, I gave you 1099, like that's your thing. So I ran into a lot of issues with that. But most importantly though, I lose the control that I need to expand my business. Like I can have a spotty business everywhere, but I don't see the way that I can build uniformity in that with the 1099. I like the idea of empowerment, but I don't see how it works for the model. So
business model, yeah.
I want to see what, like Brandon, so you're 1099 to project manage, which is dope, but what happens to the company that you subcontract, right, to come in and, I don't know, lay the concrete, but they don't have their employees show up because their employees are 1099 and not they down the street doing another concrete job. Like, how does that affect the totality, especially your position as a project manager?
See, for in our industry, the job site that I'm about to start working on, this is new, right? I'm going to something completely new. The former way that we normally would do everything is through scheduling. So I've had jobs where I schedule with a 1090, for instance, carpet installers. Very, very, very small profit in carpet for the business. The installer makes a decent amount of money, but not that much money off of the job, right? And he's going to counsel on you to take the bigger job because he's a 1099 employee. So if you only got 100 square yards and somebody got 500 square yards, he's going to take the bigger job. But it really boils down to scheduling, bro. I think the biggest thing was always with me was scheduling stuff the right way to kind of to make sure that they would show up, knowing, hey, if a customer only had one bedroom of carpet to do and I'm using a 1099 guy, making sure that I scheduled it the right way with the 1099 guy or the installer. That was the best way for me to kind of work through it, was all through scheduling, bro. And even within scheduling, you're going to run into problems because they're chasing the bigger job.
I mean, you know, we still run into schedules with employees who, you know, like my stomach hurt today, so I ain't showing up. But yeah, I'm when I'm looking at it, I'm going, you know, I can franchise and all that stuff, but is it too early? Like this company, my company, Shine, can be really big. Like but I need employees. I need to have the control necessary to set the foundation. And
maybe
I
it's
think
time for you.
But
Maybe it's time for you to start another business.
I'm there. I'm actually there.
I mean, and one.
I'm actually thinking about working for somebody.
Nope. So one that can alleviate this problem, and you know, my brother, he's been managing restaurants for a really long time, right? And his issue was finding qualified servers. And he was like, man, I wish there was a temp agency that just had a pool of, servers ready to work on command. And I said, start it. You know what I mean?
I never thought to go to a temp agency. I sat down with one like maybe 7 years ago, but I haven't.
And with the temp agency, they're right. They're on the temp agency's insurance.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I mean, I honestly, is there a temp agency that serves your industry? If not, start it.
Yeah, but I know they got like the Gardena One Stop. I mean, they got little shit, but this her temp agency wasn't specific to an industry. I think that you can set it up and she could train based on whatever information and stuff I get. I guess they was gonna implement the training program for their people and then send them out and so on and so forth.
I mean, specific to mobile
it's
detailing,
possible.
Specific to how, I know that you and Brandon tossed around the idea last time we were on the call with regard to jumping in housing,
cleaning.
Cleaning and stuff, specifically to that. And shit, you may want to try, I know there are temp agencies that cater to cleaning services. If those folks, are cleaning houses, they'll wash some cars.
That, and I guess this is gonna kind of swing the topic, but that's where these Facebook groups are important at, bro. You can find anybody on there. Like, I'm talking about looking for a nanny. Yeah, I probably got about 10 people who responded with a high ass price, but it's a pool on there. So these different groups, we can start utilizing them groups the right way. And like you said, create your own temp agency, create your own your groups to funnel the people through.
Yeah.
At this point, at this point in business, even if a person's not fully qualified, you need somebody who can show up. And that's where most business, bro, out here, I'm not sure if they're doing it at home, but all throughout the South, where I've been, all these different places I've been hitting, They're paying people daily. I'm talking about Wendy's, McDonald's, Cracker Barrel. You can come work for 1 day and we'll pay you at the end of your shift.
Nice. That I like that model.
Right.
So like
no, I use Square. I think Square you could set something up like that. That's kind of tough. I like it. It might be easier now that I accept payments online. I know at one point it was difficult because I had to wait for the net 30 to come in or run to the bank and cash a check to clear it to make that happen. But now that I'm getting paid online, that might work. But you know what? I like that idea because I think if you get money every day, you handle money differently. But dude, I don't know. I need to stay open-minded. I need to stay open-minded because I'm using my past experience.
We're coming from a place where all the rules that were laid and the way that we did business for the past 20 years, it's over.
Are broke.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's creating new templates. I think that's a good one though. Creating our own temp agency and just have hands on deck for anything that needs to be done.
I've been
because your company is not the only company in this industry that's having this problem.
I know, but we still would have to figure out where the hell we getting the pool from. Because if they not, so let me give you this one too. Let me switch that. I get a good amount of people that apply, but they have their own company, right? So I'm looking at the resume is saying, yeah, I own my own company. I tend to run away from those people for the simple sake that I know, again, when it comes down to, hey, I need you to be here at 6, and you get something that say, you know, it's going to be an all-day detail that starts at 4. You see what I'm saying? You're going to run into that 6, and then I'm on my end, I'm scheduling for if I have you available, and then you don't show up. It's terrible. It's a terrible look for the business. So where is this fix at? Like, outside of trying to create our own, like if I'm trying to fix this now, do I hire people who would y'all hire? I mean, I guess so. You hire blind installers that own their own blind install company, Brandon? How does that work?
I have before, and you come to realize that they don't have a business. They install blinds. The person who say they have a business, they don't have a business like yours, bro. They don't have the infrastructure like yours. So you start realizing that yeah, they're a entrepreneur. They might not be an entrepreneur. They want to do something. They might wash 1 or 2 cars a week, but man, it's all in your contract. You know, it's if you gotta, hey, bro.
Hold on. What contract? What contract?
You got to create one. Like what? How would you? We talked about non-disclosures in the not so long ago, and you can't really do too much with that.
A non-compete, yeah,
non-compete. So it's not much you can do with those, but you got to draw up the right contract, bro. Like Mike just said, whether you're franchising your name to them, so everything that they do is under your brand. You're bringing a template to the table, bro, that they don't have. And that's why I had to start realizing what my power was in business was the template that we had. Most of the dudes who say they're blind installers, they sell blinds, they don't even have a price list to price stuff. You know, they kind of just going out there throwing it at the wall, seeing if it sticks. So making sure that you make the agreement the right way, bro. Like really, really sitting down and hashing out your issues with a person before you hire them. Like I said, you're not a person who bite their tongue. So everything that you're, I'm gonna use the word scared of losing, address it.
The other thing, and just to piggyback on what Brandon's saying is, you know, I got relatives that make beats, right? All they do all day, just make beats. Just fire ass beats. You know what the difference is between them and Dr. Dre or them and Timbaland?
I don't. I mean, I know
So,
what I can assume, but I don't.
Yeah, so Dre and Timbaland are producers. My relatives are beat
Make
makers.
beats.
They make beats, correct. So, you get a certain level of quality when you hire Dre and Timbaland because they kind of built their business and they built their brand and they built that name. If you go and get, Tony Scott, he's gonna be you're gonna get a fire ass beat, but he ain't running all that shit through the SSL board. He ain't running everything through, whatever, musical programs there are out there. Like there's two levels of well, not even two. There's probably more than that because I know motherfuckers who are doing it on just a dirt level, but
Garage band.
yeah. Yeah, but hey, yo, some of the garage band beats sound, as good as the beatmaker beats, but they don't sound as great as the Dr. Dre and Timbaland beats.
I'm gonna have to look into a non-compete because I actually reached out to somebody on Instagram to be my HR. I'm like, yo, I got this. My handbook is solid, but I want to tighten up because I really want to hire and I want to make sure all my ducks is in a row. And she said her contract won't allow her to do side jobs, whatever kind of business contract with her company. But when I hear contract, I do understand that at that point that you're no longer like an at-will employer. Usually that's like a salaried employee. Like, there's some different, I think, factors that come into play once you get into a contract versus just hiring as a W-2. So I might have to look into that. But that's enough on me. Anybody else got some issues, man? My shit is tough. I'm gonna be chilling. I like that idea, start a new business. I think I'm training for that right now. So we're gonna see.
How you doing today, Miss Brianna?
I'm good. How are y'all?
You doing good?
I'm good. I would say I'm not gonna call it a difficulty, but I think in regards to my two businesses, it's advertising I need to get to. I keep saying I'm gonna put more money into advertising, and I haven't yet because I need to sit down and I get real particular about how the ad's gonna look, how the boost is gonna look, wording, images, video, yada yada. So I think that might be what's holding me back because when I tap in with other people in the same two industries, they make it seem as if that's the way to fix the issue. Is literally advertising online, getting in front of more eyes, and as it gets going, most of them have all the same benchmarks. They all say within 3 months if you have consistent ads, and for sure within 6 months if you have consistent ads and putting in this much amount of money, like the profits are gonna come. That's what I'm hearing from several other entrepreneurs in the same, businesses. So I've just got to get to the point to even just test it out. It's always about risk, but I got to get to the point to actually test it and see if that risk, pans out the way all these other people are saying.
I got I got a thought on that. So how are you, what's the market that you are going after at the moment?
Meaning what more?
Like the target, like who you're targeting? Like when you're sending the ads out, who you trying to get to buy it?
Honestly, that might be an issue of mine. When I hear that and I talk to other people, I feel like there isn't really a target. And I know people like, no, you got to have a target, but I don't see how or why I would need a target. Like in regards to, my apparel business, it's mostly t-shirts. At some point, I'm probably going to branch out and do other things, but I don't see, unless y'all can tap in, I don't see how there needs to be a target for that.
I want to go to the photo booth.
Okay. Even with that, the way I'm seeing is like, to me, the target is anybody. That's probably my problem.
So let me. So I did a rooftop all white party a few years ago, and we had a photo booth, and it was dope, right? If so the person provided the photo booth, and I think what they normally do is leave out some cards or maybe pass out a card to the party, right? Like so that the other people can grab it and, oh, okay, I'm gonna get a photo booth. I think the target is definitely people that's like events. So I would try to team with an event, people that provide the chairs and that kind of stuff.
Okay, yes.
So I would partner with them because like my business, we partner with a concierge company that when they open up a new business, they bring us in. So find a place where you and an event coordinator can be partnered. So when they do events, you're at least the first person they bring up.
I think I did tap on that when I was on my first call with y'all. I kind of remember that. And the issue with that is I think I did, because I said I need to talk to her again. She's in the process of trying to move. But when I threw that little idea at her really quick, she was like, yes. But right now, her issue is she needs to move her business. But when I talked to her about that, she asked if she did want to speak more on that and almost have like a one-stop shop, because she is an event planner and she has a little suite that she does all that. So like when people, when she, has people that come, she probably right now doesn't have a caterer on call, a DJ on call, but she wants to get to that point. And that's where I was like, well, we can merge all that.
So that's one of your targets. So when you're doing advertising, you're looking for companies like that, not just her. So so now you kind of in B2B with that. That's one. And then two, I brought up that card situation, how they leave it. One thing I always thought, if you was to do a 2-for-1 in these events, so whenever somebody buys your photo booth, let's say, I don't know what your price is, but let's say you do $100 an hour, but you do a flat free at $450. If you gave it to somebody for $650 and you did 2 events for them, you would book up your schedule. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you would, and a lot of people I don't think take advantage of that 2-for-1 where you can now get, hey, you can use it within the next 3 months. You see what I'm saying? We'll come out and do it again. If you don't use it within the next 3 months, you out of the contract work per se. And
right.
You asked out. Strategy. I think those companies don't utilize, like you're just leaving me a card and you think I'm gonna buy it, but there's no incentive. But if I told you that we're gonna do a birthday party and your prom, you see what I'm saying?
I've done that, but I need to do that, actually speak that to the guests. If it's something like that, of course, yeah. Yeah,
that's your advertisement. Boom. We not doing one, we doing the birthday and the prom. You getting like we trying to be your year-round
right
people. So, but something like that. But and then I think you go digital with that. At least a consistent $10 a day. But at least for campaigns, 30 days at a time.
That's where it is, because I get on target with those things, and then months. I like you guys are talking about Facebook groups. I had times, where I give 3 hours or whatever to sitting down, going through businesses, seeing what they're about, reaching out to them, boom, go to the next one, boom, go to the next one. I have pages filled. Most of them don't get back. I don't know if they don't use their business page or what. Some do get back and they seem kind of like they're not too sure how to go about it. Others I reach out to, they're not local, and I'm like, still chop it up and figure something out. It's kind of like that. So the people I'm finding, not that I have all my ducks in a row, but it almost feels like sometimes, like Randy was saying, everybody say they got a business, but they just doing something. So I think a lot of them are females. I think a lot of them may be kind of just doing that, calling themselves, an event planner and all this. But when I speak to them, they're on some, this, and it just doesn't pan out right. So I just got to keep reaching out and seeing who probably is ready to tap into something like that with me.
Every no will get you closer to a yeah. And I've experienced that in a couple of different businesses. And the other thing that I'm sure you guys know this, but what I experienced when starting this notary business, what I asked myself, am I reinventing the wheel? Because I wanted to create a business that had some sort of brand recognition in the notary space. And I was like, okay, I can do, 20 notaries at $15 a piece every day. Or is there a better way to do this? Is there another company that has already had a similar idea, or how are other notaries making a lot of money per day? And so I found that there are notary dispatch businesses, and they dispatch not just single notaries, but they dispatch like loan packages where you're making $150 in an hour. And so instead of, me trying to redo everything and say, hey, build my way up to something like that, I'm poking around for, the low hanging fruit. And sometimes that low hanging fruit is big and ripe and ready.
Right.
Yeah. Just back to Brianna, but yeah, I think we all have to do better in marketing. I can't speak for Mike, but I'm just speaking for businesses as a whole.
We all do.
Yeah. As businesses as a whole, marketing is that thing, like advertising, marketing, promoting, like being in front of eyes continuously is the way to get it. Because if you see me, and I know you see me, but not all the points click. For you, I can do whatever you need me to do. I'm available. So yeah, I definitely think that we have to spend more money advertising. And if we do spend more money, I don't think that the ultimate goal is going to be up front, but I definitely know it's coming. Like you got to water the seed, you got to plant it and then water it. And that's when you plant that first, ad or first postcard, you got to get back to those people and water it.
Yeah.
And I think if we can master that, we would kill in business.
I totally agree with you, Kevin, but I also believe that having a system that waters that is even better. Having a slow drip or a sprinkler system is just as good as you expending yourself, your energy, your personal resources to ensure that the seed you planted is fruitful. You know what I mean? So in this case, I'm a firm believer in hiring outside third-party contractors to ensure everything is done. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about it. This is their expertise. They're experts on following up with people, and it's getting my brand closer to achieving the metrics that I'm looking for it to achieve. You feel me?
I like it. What if you don't have the resources for it yet?
That's what I was gonna say. I would assume this. You have to know at what point do you truly need that, and at what point will it actually benefit you instead of just being another expense that's tallied up, that you're not really seeing the profit or seeing the benefits per se as fast as you should. If you had did it yourself, you would have spent more time, but at least you're not
your resources. I hear what you guys are both saying, but if your resources are better spent somewhere else, if your personal energy is better spent somewhere else, then that's when it's time to hire outside. That's when it's time to find a third party to actually achieve.
I'm a believer of that. The hard part from the entrepreneur mindset of doing that is that you feel that you're giving away some type of information with inside your business that somebody else is going to walk away with. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but in order to move your business in the right direction, it is the best thing to do. Like for the HR situation you're talking about, bro, I'll talk to a few HR people and you start looking at what they're talking about charging you for. It's like, ooh, that's an expense.
Right.
It's like, after I pay you this money, I'm not gonna be able to pay that employee that I just hired. So it's you got to know where your business is. We got to know where you are in business, and like what point of business you're at. I've reached this point of like, well, I guess I'm gonna go my turn now. I'm gonna say, well, my problem is in business. I'm my biggest problem. Me. The thoughts inside the head, the one to take care of family, all those different things. So I've become my biggest problem in business. And in order to be able to delegate my time in the right places, I have to hire out now. You know, it's more beneficial for me to hire out. But yeah, that's my biggest problem in business right now, bro. I'm my biggest problem because I know everything that I want to do and everything that I want to accomplish. And if I put together the right team and put everything on the table, hey, this is what I want to do, let's go, I can reach those goals. But me, probably just like with you, KD, everything's in my head. Everything's in my head. And I'm at that point of life now where we both follow the boy Ray Diallo. You got to take everything out your head and put it on paper, bro. Like I'm at a point of life right now where I've been, you know, birthday just passed, so I've been looking at life lately like we're on the shorter end of the stick. We ain't got too much sand left in the time glass, bro. And it's about making sure that we can make the business carry on when we're not here, you know? So some of those rule with the iron fist mentality things we gotta dump and leave by the wayside to give ourselves those freedoms that we want. I want freedom in life. That's my biggest thing. I want my time and I want freedom. And in order for me to do that, everything that I got in my head within the business, I got to empty it out, put it on paper, and feel confident in letting go.
I agree. I think that, I mean, I don't know if anybody in here can say that they're not they own biggest problem. Like you're saying, it could be a control issue for me. For you, it might be delegation, which it seemed like control. I heard the lack of marketing would sound like control. So I mean, yeah. I just think that I want to see like what those things look like. Like I'm emptying it out, but if I can't hire, or as a smaller business, and I'm not, you know, the money I make now pays for my lifestyle, right? So how do I put that team together without the resources? Like, so if I'm the starting, I'm starting. So right now I understand I need to move myself out of the business so I can work on and not in. But if I can't get that base, that solid group that I can now say, okay, y'all can handle that part. Now let me go to do this. That's where I keep getting into the thing. That's my issue. I need that solid base so I can get the shit that I got in my head out.
True.
And it's like, in a sense, I think somebody asked me, after doing business after so long, did I lose my passion for business? I'm not sure if that was me and you, B, or somebody. It might have been. I can't tell you who told me that, but I'm like, no, because I never.
Hey, you see these black bags under my eyes, bro? You see the saggy face, bro? Yeah, I lost it. I lost a lot of it, but it's coming back. Like, I think one of my biggest things right now, bro, with business, especially over the last year and a half, 2 years, is like, and I'm still kind of like crawling back. It's like, I haven't been home in the last few months. Has home opened back up to the capacity that we're used to? So a lot of things for me that's daunting, it's out of my control right now, I feel, bro. Like a lot of stuff that happened, it has zero to do with us. So a lot of the maneuvering coming back into the game is like, okay, I got the drive again, but where's the world going to be in January? You know, What's gas prices right now at home?
Shit,
$5. So at $5 a gallon, it ain't worth me sending a driver in the field to go to a customer's house. It's gonna cost me a buck. It's gonna cost me $1.25 to fill the truck up for the day. So every job we go to gotta have a $1,000 profit in my eyes. And then now I'm disservicing the person only spending $100 or $250. Like I'm looking at that $250. Like I don't want that $250. What I gotta go through to get that $250? I just lost money.
So you're saying you really have to pivot? You have to pivot your business, or is there a workaround for that?
So the pivot was getting out of California when everything was locked down, right? And I kind of look at it as me working my way back home. That's kind of how I have to view everything, bro. A lot of things are changing so rapidly, and it's scary. It's scary, you know. It's like, bro, okay, we talk about hiring. You know, average payroll for me, bro, in a week is when I'm full capacity, 32 to about $4,000 a week in payroll. It's like, okay, it's scary. It's scary. So for me, where I'm at right now is where the pivot put me in a position to where I'm able to bring income in solely from my house, from my household, without worrying about employees. By me growing the business and bringing it from Carolina back across the country, by the time I make it back to California, I could deal with whatever new rules that's in play, because I have capital again, to where I can kind of maneuver around the things I need to maneuver. But bro, home is dead, bro. Like, for me looking at it, it was dead. So for me, the resources that I have from home, I can bring those resources somewhere else and make more than what I was making at home. So my son wants to go to UCLA, so I got 4 years to work my way back home to get him to have the house somewhere and get him back situated where he wants to be. So that's my ultimate goal. I think we had the conversation. The pandemic wasn't my problem started before the pandemic. Got the new location, broke my arm and all that kind of stuff. So the pandemic kind of slowed stuff down for me. The pivot made it to where I got that drive back, where it's like, okay, it's worth me getting up in the morning, putting on the boots and going to work, kind of thing. So I think the biggest thing, bro, for me is just finding that consistency. And like I said, I'm trying to work my way back home, bro. But at $5 a gallon, fuck it, they can have it right now. I don't need
it. Hey, Mike, you facing any problems in any of your companies that?
Yeah.
And then how you overcoming or see to overcome those?
So specifically this cannabis business, this high class RX business. One is so I have my actual platform on Wix, right? And so Wix doesn't like the brand. It doesn't like the business model. So they won't allow me to sell anything associated with that brand on their platform. But I've already paid the annual cost to host a website there. Granted, you know, I could have moved it as soon as they told me, but you know, at this point, I'm kind of weighing my options as to where I can, I'm determining if I'm going to run into this issue anywhere else that I go. And so, you know, I'm really thinking about Squarespace, and I mean, shit, if you guys have any other website hosting platforms that you can recommend, I'm all ears. But Wix specifically doesn't like the fact that my brand is associated with cannabis. So I can't sell, you know, gift boxes. I can't sell merch. Specifically, the issue is that I can't sell merch. And so, yeah.
So you basically locked out of their store.
Yeah.
you know, I just did that little run. I didn't look at the terms and agreement, but Shopify, it's
Yep.
my business is on Wix, Shine, but I just did the Hustler2Entrepreneur on Shopify just to try it. Wix is very, I'm gonna say they're big, but they're very unorganized in a sense, right? And they have a lot of limitations, but it's easy to use.
Yes, it's super user friendly and intuitive, for sure.
So the Shopify, it's really basic and it's difficult as fuck for me to use after using Wix. Like, I'm like, man, what the hell? I just want to drag this here and put this here and write this right here, and it's there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but I was gonna say probably Google. Google, they also allow you to build websites. I would probably go there. And
I'll check it out. I'm really
not Google.
I'm looking for
GoDaddy.
Oh, GoDaddy. Oh, I'm like, damn, Google has a platform?
No, GoDaddy. GoDaddy, my bad.
Okay. Yeah, I saw GoDaddy's platform, but because I buy my my domain names there, or some of my domain names there, I just didn't I didn't want to have all my eggs in one basket. Yeah.
That's why I moved off, but I think that might be the smart run though, because if they're gonna give you the domain, they might go ahead and extend that grace on the other side.
Yeah, and possibly. I'm looking for a platform that's just fashion forward. You know, I understand that there's an issue with regard to federal laws versus state laws, and that that definitely could be holding a lot of things up. It is holding a lot of things up, but for me not to be able to get my merch out the way that I want to is really it's a hindrance, and it's annoying.
But you're only selling merch though. You're not moving flowers on there.
Nope. Yep. No.
Right. So I don't see how they can say like you can't. Yeah, that's interesting. What I'm doing right now is looking up cookies. The brand. Probably go there and see where they host. Usually on these sites too, you can go and right click and click view source on these sites and kind of glean probably where they hosting at, something like that through there.
I think I will. That's good advice.
Other than that, the business is moving away. Well, I guess it ain't if you can't sell your merch. I see it on IG. How is that?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm getting orders on IG via DM. So, that's great, but I know I can be doing so much more because I'm hearing throughout the day everybody going to my Wix site to my specific store, and they can't do shit.
Now, also too, I just did a course. I would have to send it to you. It's through a small business. I think it's the Verizon. They got a small business. They got a full, matter of fact, if y'all haven't, y'all need to look at Verizon. They have a full small business entrepreneur portal that got courses on everything from minority business certifications to what we talking about right now, Shopify, like how to sell online e-commerce. And they were saying, I just did like a whole quiz on should I use Shopify or my own personal website or sites like Etsy that build in the marketing plan and different things for you. So, and then it has like it's a test, and you answer the questions and you tally them, and then you weigh out the pros and cons of either doing your own site and generating traffic or using Etsy's and generating traffic. You see what I'm saying? With whatever terms and conditions and stuff they may have. So, but I learned that on this Verizon small business entrepreneur portal.
I see. I'm on right now.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I mean, it's shitload of courses in there, self-paced courses. They have like these where you do a course and then you get to talk to like an expert for an hour, different shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And matter of fact, there's a grant on there. $10,000 just open up.
Say less.
Yeah. So you got to do 2 courses to unlock it, and then you can apply for the grant.
That's smart. I was talking to a buddy of mine that he actually the company he works with, they partner with San Diego State University, and apparently that's the direction that education is moving toward, is the online certificate programs, and those are actually going to be just as valuable, if not more valuable, than traditional degrees and diplomas from these brick and mortar schools. I personally, I think brick and mortar is going away, all the way away within the next 20, 30 years, right? But these certificate programs are acting as the new trade schools. And me personally, as a hiring manager, I'd love to see that on somebody's resume. You know what I mean? That they took the time to actually take these certificate courses, in order to strengthen their skill set. But then again, according to Brandon, there is not going to be any proletariat, and everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. So I don't think resumes are going to be around much longer.
Yeah, now it's just when I ask for a resume, it's not to judge your qualifications. It's just to see if you're willing to do the steps that it takes to get there. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of this shit for now hiring is like, yo, I just need to see you put your hands to it, because you telling me anything. They got a lot of books on how to answer interview questions and shit. And I heard it all already.
I think we should make that one of the upcoming topics is, what do you look for as a hiring manager on the resumes of candidates?
That would be good.
Potential candidates, yeah.
And I remember one of my, I need to try to reach out to these people and probably get them to come talk. One of my clients, she probably mad though, because I had to let her go, but she was the hiring manager for Disney for, at least 20 years, like executive out in Burbank. Yeah. So I used to ask her, like, what's the key? She was like, just keep them talking. You want them to talk. You just want them to talk, because they're going to expose themselves in the conversation.
Yeah. I got a good buddy, Walter. His motto is, if you let somebody talk long enough, they'll tell you exactly what you don't want them to know.